Yo, apprentices, acolytes, and fellow lords. It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming in here, my friends. Welcome to the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. I am Lord Dagovere, and it's time, baby. Ready up. Whoop. Whoop. Man, I keep forgetting to do the god dang Instagram shit before I get on the stream. Yo, yes sir. Yo, my boy. Farm boy, it's so good to see you, man. I feel like it's been five ever. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me see if I can take a picture of this stuff, cuz so it's so funny, right? With the reels. So Instagram reels. My Instagram is I don't want to say blowing up, but it's growing. I almost have 3,000 followers on there, and I had about 200 followers about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And the funny thing is that I have so many people on there, and sometimes YouTube Shorts that always talk about how my voice is AI, and I think it's so funny that people continuously say that, and it's so consistent. It is so consistent. And I had someone the other day that was like, hey, what AI are you using in your videos? It sounds really good. And I just replied with a voice message, and they were like, oh. And I told them, I was like, I don't support any of that AI shit, dude. So I just didn't, but I don't know why that's a continuous thing. Like, I don't know why. I try to make it sound nice, especially when I'm doing the end where it's like, follow for more Star Wars content, so I try to do it because I don't like, for me personally, when I listen to Star Wars stuff and I hear someone's audio is not crisp, it's hard for me to get into it. I can't listen, so I want to make sure that people have, when they're listening to it, they have like a really solid narration, because I also love Star Wars audiobooks. One of my favorite audiobooks is not only the Darth Plagueis novel, but also the Bane novel, and of course everything that Mark Thompson does really good. So I want to make sure that everything that I'm doing sounds like it's coming right from a Star Wars book, and it's always hilarious to me that people will always say that every once in a while. It's so interesting. It's very interesting. You can legit be a voice actor narrating voice and impressions. Thank you. I appreciate that, Leon. You know what's so funny is I actually did go to voice acting. I don't want to say voice acting school, but there was an actor that I did voice acting lessons with in Altamont Springs. His name is Hank Stone. You can look him up. I think he has an IMDb or something. IMDb, whatever. I don't know what it's called. But he's in the Patriot. He's in Walking Dead. He's in a lot of movies. And I actually learned a lot from him, specifically like how to tone your voice, how to do a lot of stuff. Like, it was legitimate like classes that I was working with him in, and it was really awesome, really cool that I even got to work with him. But I was at that time I was doing hosting gigs, like literal like voice work for streams and everything, and I was hosting streams. So that's where I was able to do that. But I'd always wanted to be a voice actor because I was a weeb. I am a weeb, so I love anime and things like that. So I always wanted to try and do something in terms of voice acting. So yeah, just really interesting how that's working out, and at least with how things are working out right now, it's just really silly how people are with the AI stuff. I actually think it's hilarious. But yeah, it's really funny. All right, I'm gonna try to post this right now. Hang on, live now on YouTube. Boom. There we go. Hooray. All right, we did it. 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 All right, cool. Let me see. I'll post this on Twitter. Sure. What the heckers? Oh, no. I cannot post it on Twitter. I'm so sorry. I'm such a boomer sometimes, man. I do not know Can I save? Can I download this? Yeah, save photo. Cool. Yo, Bugsy, so good to see you, fam. I want to do acting after I do YouTube for a while, but Hollywood is pissing me off so much that I'm having second thoughts about it. But that's why content creation, I feel like, is so good, because you can also end up in Hollywood because of YouTube. I think that it's actually a much easier approach than being an extra and things like that, and actually going to acting school, because that's really hard. You know, being an actor is very hard. Pursuing those things is so difficult. I remember even when I was in high school, and I had a drama class, sophomore year of high school, sophomore or freshman year, I can't remember. And I just remember a lot of these people, a lot of these actors, we'd get like famous actors that would be substitute teachers, and just a few of them, nothing crazy. But you know, they would just talk about how it was just really difficult for people to be in acting, even like as an actor, and how a lot of them, you know, they had help from people that were like other actors or other famous actors, or they knew somebody. And that's where actually I got the quote from the voice actor that was teaching me, Hank Stone, or the actor that was teaching me to voice act, Hank Stone, and he said, "Success is a mixture of talent, timing, and people you know." And that's all he kept saying. He said that like every freaking class, and I believe him 100%. 100%. It's more involved with connections and timing, and a combination of talent. Just the straight up talent, you know. Yo, how's your day going? Good, man. Good, fam. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you so much for coming over here, Bugsy, Leon. Yo, Farm Boy, everybody freaking here. Let's go. My goodness gracious. My gosh, please join. Please join. I'm trying to get this stuff on because I just think it's funny. I want to see the people you know. Is the people you know is the thing that we need to know. Is that what you said? Hang on. There's a heart like right in front of the comment. I hate it. I can't even see it. Why is that there? Man, that's so terrible. Let me see if I can just like add this out. Start a poll, Q&A. Okay, whatever. I can't read it. But yeah, I think that's one thing. Like a lot of times, I was very stubborn to ask for help. I never wanted to ask for help. I don't like asking for help, even today. I don't like asking for help. I just kind of like to do things. I don't like owing people stuff, you know, because in my experience, people will always try to get you, you know, when the time isn't necessarily right, about the time you need to pay up, you know. No, there's no free. I have this saying that there's no free lunch, you know. So someone's paying for it somehow, you know. If we're still doing the Q&A thing, I have a very fun, simple question: Alpha 17 or Captain Rex? Oh man, I have to go with Rex. I think I always have to go with Rex, just because of what Rex has been through. I mean, not that like Alpha hasn't been through anything. It's just like, Rex, in my opinion, his stock has just kept going up and up and up, and now the idea that potentially that he's lived through the Battle of Endor and seen so much, I just feel like, I don't know, man. It's hard for me not to pick Rex over a lot of people in Star Wars. You know, if I'm picking someone over Rex in Star Wars that is like a gunner or a bounty hunter or a trooper or something like that, it's probably because like they're one of my favorites. I heard that Alpha 17 was replaced by Rex because Filoni didn't want 3 characters with an A. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's inaccurate, especially like at the beginning of Clone Wars, because at the beginning of Clone Wars, like there's just so many different characters, and in terms of troopers. But then like when you watch. Was it like season 2 or season 3? Like it shows the characters before they die, right? And it's just, there's this like weird time frame, and it's almost as if like they had so many storylines that they wanted to tell, and then they just made everything even more important, you know. So I think it's really interesting. Also, the mic quality sounds phenomenal. I don't know why. I didn't do anything. This is my Blue Yeti. I've literally had this thing since I was homeless. I drugged this thing around when I was homeless. So I don't know why the audio is the way it is. I hope. I mean, hey, you know, maybe it's just a couple more dust things in there, and all of a sudden the audio is tweaking in the right way, you know. But someone was talking about. I think it was you, Leon. You were talking about whatchamacallit, emotes? Emotes, yes, I think it was emotes, right? So I do have emotes. I think I do. I don't know where actually, am I supposed to go into the thing? Let me see. I'm actually trying to look and remember how to do this, because I do have emotes, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to have you guys use those, because I just don't like the idea of you guys paying to watch or use things. I just think it's a little silly. But I know a lot of people do it, and I know it incentivizes a lot of the people like that just want to come back over here and watch stuff, and put things in there and do stuff. So supers, next steps. Yeah, okay, let's see. So this is all changed. This whole membership thing. It's a little different now. Custom default perks. Set up your memberships. Post and welcome new members. Cool. But like, where is the thing? Can we just do like one level? Oh man, yeah. So I'm definitely gonna have to check this out. So let me see if I can actually find the emotes real quick, because I do have them. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I actually want you guys to see. Bright Sunset, yo, fam, hey, it's so good to see you. Yeah, I know who you are. You don't gotta introduce yourself. I know who you are. I remember. I know who you are. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming over here, apprentices. Welcome. So good to see you, fam. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know you were going crazy with Mr. Kamir on Twitter. Yeah, no problem, fam. Go prep your dinner. Yeah, dude. Yeah, what I've heard most people say is that you can reach out acting agents once you have an acting reel. Yeah, so there is this one place I used to go on a lot, was acting. Was it Casting Call? I think it was Casting Call. And everybody was trying to do machinima on there, and that was where one of the first places that I was able to get picked up and start doing like the voice of the Emperor, or maybe I would do like Cassidy from Overwatch, justice ain't gonna dispense itself, and it was just like little things that I would eventually get into. But then there were some people that wanted to do like Fire Emblem, just a whole bunch of roles, and then you were able to go in from there. To do some really like just really fun stuff, and then you would have all of your audio stuff, and then make a reel out of that. So I would do that. Someone had me do Bane. Someone had me. There were so many roles that I was doing. I did a lot of stuff for the Overwatch machinima that they were doing. And by the way, this is like unofficial stuff. This is just people making projects. It's nothing. It's just people were like going out. There's a whole bunch of people like completely fan made, and they were just going out and trying to make machinima. So movies using video game footage. And so I would get casted every once in a while. But then there was like a lot of, how do I say, favoritism through people, and I just I didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I noticed that a lot of people were being really nasty about the parts that they were getting, so I just kind of stopped, and that eventually kind of stopped my my pursuit of voice acting. It's just really hard. It's very difficult to actually get involved and make a career out of that, man. People that are doing that now, whew, man, they're crazy. Wow, go off. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no. But how did you do? I know that you like the Acolyte. Huh? Wait, did you? I know you like parts of the Acolyte. But did you like the whole thing? What would you rate it out of 10? Definitely. I'm always interested in how people like or don't like certain things. But I know a lot of people here have definitely... a lot of people around here were definitely more respectful about what we don't like. Yeah, but there's, I think that a lot of us that are in this community just didn't really like it as much. For me, it was like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5. But I really did like episode 5, man. Episode 5 and the finale were great. They were good stuff. Man, is there nothing in here? I thought I had... Oh, emotes. Okay, I got it, I get it. Yeah, but same here. I like the whole story. Good, I'm so glad. That's awesome for you guys. I'm so happy for you all. Good job. Let's go. Let's frickin' go. No. View. Can we do extra large? No, extra large. What? I don't understand. Why is Okay. Well, all right. Never mind. Okay, so this is what I got. Episode 5 changed my life. Episode 5 changed my life. That's hilarious. I want to feel that way. Okay, so here's the deal. All right, so this is the... Oh, I guess I do have to lower myself. Okay. So this is all the stuff that I made before. All right. These are the cheer emotes that I had. And so you got BB9, you got a Stormtrooper, Captain Rex, Boba Fett, Phasma, Jango, Thrawn, TIE Fighter Pilot, Praetorian Guards, the Gen 2, Commando, and then, sorry, not Commando, my guy, Jesus, dude, Trooper, and then you have the actual Commando, and then you have 501st, and then the Emperor. So this was all stuff that I was going to use. I've used this previously, but this is what was, if I was going to use these things as emotes or, I don't know, cheers or bits or something, whatever the hell that the currency is on YouTube, if people wanted to get into that. But I don't know if it's the same with YouTube, because with Twitch, it was like if you kept cheering, you were graduating yourself, almost like a rank, I guess. And it was really cool to see people go from one emblem to another, and after however so many years, people would be like, oh my gosh, wow, how did you get the Emperor? How did you get this? So it was really cool, and I thought the idea was nice, but I just haven't had an opportunity to use it as much as everything else. And then, what is this? Let me see. Holocron sub. Okay, and so this was the sub stuff. So now this was also, I don't know if you guys know, like every time someone subscribes on Twitch, you get like $5 or something, right? And basically, like every 1 month is like a tier, and then for 3 months, and then 6 months, and then a year, and then above a year, it depends. Like it's like a tier list. You're improved. So I think Maul was like the first one that I did. Can you guys see that? I don't even know if you guys could see that well. And then I think it was Kylo Ren, and then Traya, Revan, and then Vader. So that was like all the stuff that I wanted to do. So I do have things that I can make for this and put in the emojis if you really want to see that. But just let me know if that's something that you guys want to do in time. Bryson says, compared to Kenobi, I thought it was better. I had so much faith in it, and it just didn't hit. Yeah, that's how I felt about both of these shows. Well, no, actually, I did not have a lot of faith in the Acolyte, because I knew that the Acolyte was like one of the last production projects that they were doing before before COVID had ended. So I kind of understood what was happening. I don't know. It's just the High Republic. I like the books, but I knew that this, while they said it was the High Republic era, it really wasn't. It was kind of like the end of the High Republic. And it only took a few features of the High Republic in the Acolyte. So it was just like one thing after another, and then eventually the show was the show for me. But Kenobi, man, yeah, Kenobi out of all the shows, where the Acolyte and the Kenobi, in my opinion, are the bottom tier, the bottom on the list for me in terms of what I like the most. It's definitely, the least. I probably won't rewatch the shows. But I want to say that as much as I didn't like the Acolyte, I still feel like Kenobi probably had the biggest misfire because of the characters of, Kenobi and Vader that are involved with that. So it's just, I can go on and on. As much as stuff that I didn't like about the Acolyte, I can probably go on more about the things that I did not like in Kenobi. And that's probably how I feel about that. Yeah, man. You like the haircut? Thank you. Yeah, I usually get a haircut twice a year. I usually let it grow out. I get the discount Ben Solo look going, and then once it gets too much for me, then I cut it, and that's it. So I probably won't have to get another haircut till February, maybe. It depends how fast my hair grows. My hair usually grows very fast, so We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how much I get annoyed of it, dude. David Torres, it's so good to see you. Thank you for coming in here. Appreciate it. Ready up. What's your top show right now? It's funny. Realistically, if you're gonna ask me like my favorite, it's probably Ahsoka. My favorite is probably Ahsoka. I love Ahsoka. I appreciate all of its flaws. I appreciate everything it did. Ahsoka to me was everything that I had hoped the sequel trilogy was going to be. That's how I feel about Ahsoka. Ahsoka was chef's kiss. If I would have had acolyte type action in Ahsoka, I might have died on a hill saying it's the best Star Wars project ever. But in my opinion, I think that Andor and the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian are probably some of the greatest Star Wars projects of all time. I rewatch those all the time. There's something about the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian that just hits so hard. I love it. The soundtrack, everything about those first 2 seasons. And Andor, the only thing it's missing is lightsabers. I mean, I feel like that's it. I feel like Andor is missing lightsabers and characters that are more integral to the story outside of Cassian. You know, I feel like Cassian, not that I hate him, I like the character, he's cool. It's just I didn't think that he was a character that you can name an entire series off of. But even still, there's just so many amazing things about Andor and The Mandalorian. And if I was going to have to pick like the best Star Wars show, it would probably be very hard for me to choose between those. Would be Andor and The Mandalorian, man. They're too damn good. They're just too good. Shin Hati, enough. Shin Hati, yeah, everybody's always talking about Shin. I love Baylan, man. Baylan's so cool. I'm a really big fan of The Outer Rim, Uncharted Space, Wild Space, Outbound Flight, things like that. I've made so many videos on Deep Space and Star Wars, especially with my shorts recently that are doing really well. So when they went to Peridia and they went outside, they used the star map from Knights of the Old Republic. So that was just like, man, I loved it. I just want more. I cannot tell you how many times I go to bed and I think about Peridia. I think about Uncharted Space. I think about Abeloth and all these things, man. Mortis. Oh, jeez. I will not shut up about that stuff, man. I can go on about it, dude. Please. And again, this is Q&A. So if you guys have questions about any of the shows or any of the books that you're reading, right now I've been doing a lot of the shorts on Rakata, The Rule of Two, of course, a lot of stuff with Darth Bane and Rakata Prime, and just about Starforge and things like that. But yeah, man, I'm always down. Today's probably going to be a shorter stream. I'm going to end it at 9. I have a couple things that I need to do tomorrow. But yeah, we're going to try to keep it going. Do this every week. Also, I got a free game code for Star Wars Bounty Hunter, the Jango Fett game, but I can't play it on stream until the embargo ends. So I was hoping that I can do that today for you guys, so you guys get a sneak peek of the revamped graphics and everything. But I'm not gonna be able to do that till tomorrow. So maybe next week we'll start, and then we'll probably play that game until Outlaws comes out, and then I'll play the game. I'll play Outlaws with y'all, so we can get it going, man. Samus Prime says, I feel the same about Book of Boba Fett. There was such a missed opportunity other than bounty hunters to show up in Boba's crew. Like, seriously, where were the Trandoshans in No Bosk? Yeah, No Bosk in live action in The Mandalorian was a miss. But as much as I felt like the Boba Fett show missed an opportunity, I still feel like it did what it needed to do, and that was bring Boba Fett back and show us what happened. And I still liked Boba Fett a lot more than Kenobi. In the Acolyte, which is so sad because Vader is like the guy for me. Anakin Vader is my dude, bro. He's my guy, man. You know. So yeah, Andor is my top show. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I really wish that they would keep those writers and everybody and start putting them on different Star Wars projects when Andor is done. Because Jesus Christ, please spread the love. What do you think about if they recast Baylan though? That's fine. I think that's fine. I think that, we look at what happened with Marvel and how they're just kind of trashing the Kang dynasty or whatever. I don't want that to happen. There are storylines here. And in my opinion, Baylan has probably one of the most intriguing stories for Ahsoka. And by the way, I'm not even a Marvel fan. It's just I don't want Star Wars to be like, oh no, that's it. We can't do this anymore. And especially in an era where like everybody is just absorbing media, you can't allow yourself to miss out on these opportunities to flesh out the stories, especially one of the best storylines in your project. And Balin's story is probably one of the best Star Wars stories that we've had in Star Wars TV. Absolutely, 100%. Please, do what you gotta do, man, as long as the story's good. Are you gonna react to Star Wars Theories Vader Episode 2 on stream? He said it might be out by December. I can if you guys want me to do that. I don't watch Star Wars Theory too much anymore. He's just he's not really a creator I just have watched recently for many reasons. I also saw he was doing something with AI, and I just I don't really want to get into that business, honestly. I don't really want to bring exposure to it, if you guys understand, if that makes any sense. Bright Sun says, man, that would be such a good stream. Yeah, so Outlaws and everything, yeah, I really hope I can play that on stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it for PC. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it for PC or console. Because last time I got Jedi Survivor on PC, and I remember that having just a lot of hardware issues. So I'm not sure if Outlaws is going to be the same thing, you know? He's not using AI? Okay. Yeah, if he's not using AI, I'm totally down. Yeah. That's good. Ruffle says, got a Twitch channel, Q&A at you. You've been streaming on yours? No, I have not been streaming on Twitch at all. YouTube, I don't like Twitch. I haven't been on Twitch. I'm partnered on Twitch, but I just feel like YouTube is the better platform. It's more of fit that I appreciate. I've been on Twitch since it was like Justin TV. Yeah, and I was literally streaming since like 2013. So yeah, it's been a whole thing. I just think YouTube is where I'm at, where I like, and I think people are much more expressive in the right way on there. They might have some bugs day one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to, which is why I usually like consoles. I just feel like PC is just like, there's so many things that can go wrong on PC. You can crash your streaming, it can slow down your computer, you know, it's all these things. So I might just kind of bite the bullet and just deal with it on Xbox or something. CMS Prime says, have you read the old school Jedi Prince books from back in the day? Jedi Prince books? Is that like Scholastic? Let me see this, because you know how much of the expanded universe is out there. I did used to read something Jedi Prince series. I think the Jedi Prince series is like a light novel. Oh, so these were like the early 90s. So this is like, okay, so Prophets of the Dark Side, yes. Queen of the Empire, yeah, these are all like old school stuff. I remember, so funny enough, Prophets of the Dark Side was a book that was in my school that I used to do book reports on. And it was one of the only Star Wars books I was able to read. There was also one, man, I can't remember what this was, but it was about two kids. They were on Tatooine. They were, oh man, I can't remember. It was, they were on Tatooine. One of them was always walking around the Sarlacc pit and training in a way where I guess, man, this was so long ago, guys, so I'm trying to remember. They were training in a way where they didn't want the Sarlacc to detect that they were there. And there was also like a changeling in the book as well. And the changeling was like changing, and they were trying to figure out what was going on. I think Jabba the Hutt was a part of this too, but it took place on Tatooine. And I remember the Sarlacc was trying to eat these people, and the person that was training around the Sarlacc got mad because I guess they thought somebody was in danger, and because that person ran up to them and didn't know how to walk around the Sarlacc pit undetected, the Sarlacc almost ate both of them. Yeah, so really, but it was like a light novel, and I remember reading that a few times and doing book reports off that, because, you know, we had to drop everything and read back in the day. I don't know if you guys have that. Florida's always got stupid rules to try to make people feel smart, and it just, you know, they just waste their time. Yeah. Soda Fam says, I need a recreation of Soul Saber. I saw someone with, dude, I really loved a lot of the lightsabers in the Acolyte, man. They were really nice. There was, yeah, like I said, there I think as much as I didn't like The Acolyte, there was a lot of great ideas. Great ideas. Just not the best execution for me. Didn't go the way I wanted. Speaking of fan projects, the creator of the Obi-Wan vs. Vader reimagined is under fire because it's been years since Luke vs. Vader was reimagined was announced, and people are accusing him of scamming the fans. Really? Because he has a GoFundMe on there for it, which people have donated. Yeah, but I don't know why they're getting upset. It's a GoFundMe. He's not demanding you to donate, and that's the whole point about donations is you're giving it to him for free, you know. And even with the idea of him giving you something, like it's still a donation. You're giving him a tip, you know. So I understand why they're mad, but I think that you probably shouldn't give people your money in the first place, you know. I don't know, but that's just my thing. His edit of Kenobi is fantastic, though. I actually think his edit is very, very well done. There are some strengths. There are some things that I don't like, but I think but I definitely like the editing. It definitely works for me more than the original series did, especially the fixing of the shaky cam. That was something I didn't really understand why, what the decision was or what they were trying to make people feel. So I need that. Yeah, Samus Prime says, yeah, bro, there was about 6 books. I think you were thinking of the second book, which was titled Lost City of the Jedi. Oh, okay. I remember doing book reports about them also. That is hilarious, Samus Prime. Yes, it was Dear, drop everything and read. That's what we had. It was like 15 minutes a day. I don't know. They were trying to make us smarter. I don't know. I didn't work for me. No, sir. Do you think we will get Force Ghost Kanan in Season 2? Interesting. A lot of Force Ghost parties. So I'm not sure. I actually don't think we should have Kanan Force Ghost. I think that you can expect Force Ghost Kanan in the Heir to the Empire movie. I think that would make sense. I think the Heir to the Empire... Because if you guys have read Heir to the Empire, there's one thing that Obi-Wan says when he's talking to Luke Skywalker, and it's about him being... he's not... I think Luke says, then I am the last of the Jedi. And then Obi-Wan says, no, you're the first of the new. And I remember reading that for the first time, and that shit gave me chills down my goddamn spine. And I was hoping to God that they were going to save that in Rise of Skywalker, man. And that is something that I would love for Kanan to say to Ezra and Jason. That would be amazing, you know, or even Sabine, you know, because Sabine was also really interesting in that show because she sensed Anakin before Ahsoka sensed Anakin in the finale, which is also really cool. And we could talk about that all day too, man, because I won't shut up about that shit. Yo, thank you very much, Bugsy, for coming back, fam. Good to see you, Predators and Acolytes, fam. Let's go. You know any news on what Skeleton Crew would be about? So it's definitely going to be Goonies of Star Wars. It seems like there is a former Jedi or former Force sensitive that stumbles or is guarding kids, and they go into a spaceship. They find an ancient spaceship, and the spaceship turns on, and then they go into hyperspace. And I think that is the premise of the show. I heard about that a few years ago, and I heard about that through work. So that's what I've heard. I don't know if they've changed anything from that, but I think that's what it is because I actually went to Target, and Target is actually selling the Lego set. This is my phone. This is from my Target. That's actually sending the Lego set like a week early, and it's not supposed to come out till August. So my Target is doing some bad things, but it literally looks like that. It looks like what's it called? The ship is called the Onyx Cinder, and it's got kids and an adult. So I think we're still right on the money with that log line. I think we're still on that. Leon says, I'd love for them to remake fights like live-action version of Mace Windu versus Grievous, Luke actually fighting Kylo Ren in The Last Jedi final arc. Yeah, the thing is, it seems like I think it's better for them to ignore those things. You know, like, we as fans of animation, we've already seen these things. Yes, live-action fans the larger spectrum of Star Wars fans that only watch the movies live action, they haven't seen that. But then you get stuff like Kenobi, where we see Kenobi, Anakin gets the face thing, and his mask is off, and he's looking at Kenobi through his eyes, just like we got in Rebels. Then you will die. So I think that is what you're going to get. You're going to get recreations, iterations, member berries, things like that. Member. Because that's what Star Wars is. People complain about that, but Star Wars is like that. It's supposed to be like poetry. It rhymes. That's what George said. And they're very big on that. So I think you're going to get stuff like that instead of complete creations, recreations of what you want from animation. I think that's probably the way that they're going to go. And I think they're going to invest a lot more into the Mandoverse of Star Wars. I think they're very focused on the Mandoverse of Star Wars. They're only really making movies and projects for the Mandoverse outside of stuff that's already been in production. We know we have Dawn of the Jedi. We know we have Rey's new movie. But Heir to the Empire, Mando Season 4, Ahsoka Season 2, I feel like they're just going to keep going in. They're just going to keep going in. Now, just give me an animated show. Just give me an animated show in that era so we can build off the sequel trilogy. I'm not super excited about Skeleton Crew, but I will give it a chance. I think that a lot of people are not super excited about Skeleton Crew because Skeleton Crew hasn't been talked about at all. Like at all. Like there is literally, outside of the pictures that I've showed you with Legos, like there's just not a lot of being talked about Skeleton Crew. And I think, funny enough, I think it's actually going to be one of the better shows that we've seen. I just always had that feeling about it that I just sometimes, I don't know, man, it's good. But Acolyte I was really worried about, and it turned out to be exactly what I thought it was going to be. So it is what it is, man. We'll have to see. I'm talking about the SC38 reimagined YouTube channel. Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the fight so many times, but I don't know. It's like when I watch that, I don't think it really. Star Wars has a certain type of spirit about it, especially with A New Hope, right? And so that reimagined fight versus Vader and Kenobi, I think a lot of people, while they really enjoy it, that part isn't really supposed to be like that, and I think that as much as how silly that first fight is, which is probably the worst lightsaber duel in like all of Star Wars, because one thing I always make fun of is Kenobi doing the little spin thing, and he doesn't go anywhere. He just spins around and then just goes like this to Vader. It's always so funny. It's and then the motors of the saber like short out in that entire filming thing. You can see the wires. There's just a lot about that part that's just, it's not really the greatest lightsabers action scene in Star Wars. But I think even still, it still like holds true to what's actually happening with Star Wars, particularly when it comes to Kenobi and Vader meeting up. So when you see those crazy movements that you see in that reimagining stuff, it's really cool, but I don't really think that it captures what Star Wars was in that era, if that makes any sense. Yo, Aki, it's so good to see you again. Thank you so much for being here, fam. Thank you. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you. Samus Prime says, will you do a live stream, just upload reactions for D23? So is D23 an actual stream? What we can do is, if you want, I can like rewatch stuff. But when it comes for like trailer reactions, I'll keep uploading trailers. Because trailers are really easy to. But like as for like series and stuff that's going on, I'm gonna do it the same way. We're gonna get there 8 o'clock, whatever, 9 o'clock, whenever it's like launched, and we're gonna watch it together. But in terms of D23, I've never really reacted to stuff because I've never known how to get there or watch it. But if you guys know, let me know, please. I will love to do that for you all. Did you see the Star Wars untitled film for release in 2026? They announced what is that? That's not the Rey film, is it? It's not the Rey film. It's not the Dawn of the Jedi film, is it? Because the only 3 films that I know is the Dawn of the Jedi film, is the Rey film, and then the Mando and Grogu film. I don't know any other films that are being made or that have been talked. I think it's better not to talk about a show, because with The Acolyte, it was too much hype, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, I think when you market a show that it's going to be about the Sith, and it's not really about the Sith, because yeah, you guys know my issues. Um, yeah, it's just I don't know, a lot of things I just I didn't like as much as I wanted to. Not that I thought of that because they had been working titles. Oh, okay, all right. I feel like it perfectly captures how powerful Obi-Wan is at that point in the lore, and how deeply Vader is when he's not holding back at the end of Rogue One. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's interesting too because what I don't think the movies do so well is like, Vader is so strong in Return of the Jedi. You know, the Emperor is incredibly strong in Return of the Jedi. Obi-Wan is old, but he's still strong in the Force, And yes, the movies do not show you how powerful they are, But I think as like a fan, as as not just like an expanded universe fan, but as like a Star Wars fan, we understand. But I gotta say, anyone that I've ever tried to get to watch Star Wars, they always have such a hard time watching Episode 4. They don't have a hard time with watching Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi because they're emotionally invested at that point because of Empire Strikes Back, But A New Hope is very hard for a lot of new fans to watch, especially partners, people that that have never seen like an old movie like that before. A New Hope is just hard to watch. I feel like the prequels are much easier to get people involved in. Even the sequels, I feel like because it's new stuff, and people like just new special effects and things like that. So you can always get them with the flashy stuff. It's a lot harder to really appreciate a lot of the older movies, unless they're bangers. And Star Wars is a banger, of course. But A New Hope, in my opinion, is probably one of the hardest ones to get people involved in. And that fight is definitely not helping. that fight does not help at all. The Rey film has been pushed. So when you say pushed, does that mean it's been delayed or it's coming out quicker? Samus Prime says D23 and like San Diego Comic-Con, but more geared towards Disney IP, includes Marvel and Lucasfilm. I think that would last for about 3 days or so. Yeah, because a lot of the D23 stuff, I remember like people coming out and talking about it, and then I usually do videos on things like that, and we'll see. But I'm down to do whatever, as long as I can figure out how to record it or watch it and stream it. Whatever we'll do, well, we'll get into that. Rolvo says, curious. Oh, where do you see this? So I think, script issues. Oh, okay. Yeah. No, take all the time. Please take all the time. I really don't want to deal with all these comments that I already have to deal with about Rey this and Rey that, bro. It's just like, dude, like, if you don't like the character, stop talking about it, please. Man, I never had a problem with Rey at all, like ever, bro. I still don't get the criticism, even to this day, man. Even to this day. David Torres says, do you think Grand Admiral Thrawn will get the best out of Ahsoka in the Mando movie? I wonder if he's actually going to be in the Mando and Grogu movie. I feel like the Mando and Grogu movie is going to intertwine with Heir to the Empire, or connect to Heir to the Empire. So I think if we see Thrawn, we'll probably see Thrawn at the end of the movie. But I do think that Thrawn is... I think Thrawn is awesome, man. I think the more Thrawn that you get, the better the movie is going to be. I just want to see something else. Like, are we going to do the Grisk? Are we going to do the Vong? Are we going to do Rakata? Are we going to do Abeloth and Mortis? Things like that. I think that it's time for Star Wars to really delve in to a lot of the stuff that they've been ignoring. Is that Old Republic stuff? Is that, the Grisk? Is that the Vong? Is that things like that? Is that going to be something like the Drengnir, the Great Progenitor, or whatever the heck his name is, the main one that was controlling all the Drengnir in the High Republic? Yeah, it's just, it's time to start fleshing out the verse, especially around those 40 years. But I think it's also really hard for them to do because the sequel trilogy just kind of pinned them in this era, and there were like, nothing happened. But it's only one galaxy. You can go out. You know, maybe we're going to go to the Chiss Ascendancy. Maybe we're going to see what else is going on there. I still think there's a lot of potential. It's just you have to maneuver around these canon points in the timeline. So same day announced R2G as Doom. It was Disney, Mando and Grogu December 2026, and an untitled film May 26. Okay, interesting. Avengers Doomsday and The Mandalorian and Grogu in the same month. That's going to be... What the flip? No way. Really? Damn, that's crazy. I cannot believe that. Samus Prime says, I really hope that we get to see more Grand Admiral Thrawn's menacing side in Ahsoka Season 2. Yeah, I want to see it all, man. I just want more Thrawn. I want a lot of... but I want a lot of stuff. I really want Luke's Academy, too. You know, I want so bad Exar Kun. I want Yavin. I want the Masasi, dude. I want the Lost Tribe of the Sith. I want Darth Krayt. I want Darth Caedus. You know, I want to see Jason Syndulla turn to the dark side because I feel like he's the perfect recipe cooking right now for that to happen. There's gonna be a lot, man. I think that there's so much that they can do. I also want to see them incorporate the Lost, these Jedi that left the Order. You know, maybe even tried to start their own academy, and then things went bad. Very similar to how Baylan... And Baylan's story is also really interesting, you know? So, yeah, there's just a lot. If Baylan survived, you know, or maybe there's other people that have left, and we all know that have read the Expanded Universe, like, what else is going on, what other Force Sensitives that are out there, how they survived. There's so much potential, man. I just think that they really need to digging into Legends continuity and use that as like a foundation to improve a lot of the stories and flesh out all good stuff, man. I would really, 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 really love to see that stuff. Yeah, man. Yeah, Thrawn and Cad Bane are my favorite non-dark side Force users in Star Wars. Yeah, Cad Bane is really cool. I don't know why they introduced him so late in the Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, but he should have been... I don't know. They should have used the Tuskens more. They shouldn't have killed off the Tuskens. They should have used Kira. They should have used Bosk. They should have used so much stuff. They really should have involved a lot more of the Syndicate, or at least the ideas of the Syndicate. The Syndicates. Yeah, man. There's a lot. Also, where the hell is Mara Jade, bro? Damn, bro. Where is Mara Jade? You know? God, man. How many of y'all have read Bane Path of Destruction, dude? Dude, it's so good, man. It's so good. I remember reading it back in the day, dude, and I just remember loving it so much back then. And when you read a book 4 or 5, 6 times over, dude, there's just so many beautiful things. Because the reason why I started reading it again this year is because I started making content again on specifically about the Rule of Two, Revan's influence on how he created the Rule of Two. And it's so funny to see so many people that will, like, I'll literally use, like, the exact page number, the exact chapter, and I will literally quote verbatim in the book, and then they'll say in the comments, that's not what happened. And I think it's really funny, because it just goes to show you how many people have not actually read the lore, have not actually read the book, or you know the source where it comes from, and they're so used to the regurgitated content online, watching videos or what someone said on Twitter or what they heard a content creator say, instead of actually getting the source. You know, so I think it's really interesting how consistent people will be at that, instead of understanding like, oh yeah, no, this is actually coming from here. Yo, Piplup, let's go. I love Piplup. Piplup's an awesome Pokemon. Bugsy says, I'm honestly ready for them to move past the prequels. However, I wouldn't be mad at the Clone Wars style animated show for every other year. I think Tales is a really good start for them. They should be doing Tales for everything. I do think that they don't do enough animation. I also think that while they don't do enough animation, they're not taking as much risks as they should with animation. Star Wars Visions is perfect. You know? Oh, Trev, fam, my God. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, fam. I got my my Charizard beanie right here. Yeah, man. Thank you for coming over here, dude. I really appreciate it, dude. Yeah, no, I think that, again, I think Visions is a really great idea. You know, there should be a million freaking seasons of Visions. But also, they should be using the animated series to take part in every era of Star Wars. You know, Dawn of the Jedi, Old Republic, the era of Star Wars, which a lot of people say is the Old Republic, but it's not. It's right before the High Republic, and it's literally where Bane creates the rule of two. And the Battle of Ruusan, New Sith Wars, like that era, isn't really the Old Republic to me. That's when the rule of two starts. And there's so many years where, even in Legends, like, we don't know what happens. We just know they're Sith Lords. We know the Jedi exist, but nothing is going on. Like, that's stuff that I would be diving into, making stuff about that. And I think it's also really hard for them to make, like, you know, a futuristic series where it's like thousands of years in front of the movies. You know, I think that's really hard for them to do too, because just like they did with the sequel trilogy, they went so far in the future and then they pinned themselves down, you know, for like 40 years. Now they have to make stuff inside where the Mandoverse is, which I think is also very restricting. Good, but very restricting. I think the prequels is enough to keep the fans happy. Yeah, but see, that's the thing though too, Leon, is I also feel the same way. Is I feel like they need to start moving away from prequel and Empire, because there's just so much content. Like, there's just so much from Legends and new canon. It's just, they're so bent on creating in that era, and I think that they've done a really good job with the Mandalorian, and there's just not enough there. There's 40 years between a post Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens, and dude, it's a clean sheet. Come on, make stuff. Star Wars Resistance, in my opinion, wasn't a great show, but that was the start. Like, you should have kept going. It just has much influence or production that you put into The Mandalorian. You should have kept putting stuff into stuff like Resistance, you know? But they stopped. They stopped. And I think stopping is, when you start listening to criticism too much, I think that's when you get scared. And then you pull out of projects, and then stuff gets shelved. And that's probably why you're so used to seeing X character get a series, this character get a series, this era get a series, because they know it works. And Hollywood is very demanding about IPs that already have a built-up fan base. They're very scared to take risks on new IPs, new characters, original stories, because that is something that hasn't been, I don't know, confirmed, or, you know, it's a risk. You know, and money and risk is a scary thing for these companies. So they want something like a Vader, you know, like a Kenobi, you know, something like that they know, like a Boba Fett, that will probably bring in money at the very least, which is always really hard to convince these people to do, man. Samus Prime says they should do a live series of surrounding events of Star Tours. That's so funny. Star Tours has got so many updates too. You probably could do that. K-Taco Skywalker says, I would like a series. By the way, welcome, fam. Thank you so much for coming over here. I would like a series that focuses on Luke in his prime, building his academy, etc. I know it won't happen, just me. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy too, because we've already been teased a lot by it because of Book of Boba Fett. We're seeing what's going on and the Jedi Academy, and I really want to see more of that. Like I was telling you guys about Exar Kun and everything else. Like, there's just so much that you can do. I actually think that the Luke Skywalker stuff would be an amazing animated show. I've actually wanted that to be an animated show for a very long time, because I think that you could do more risks. But live action, if you're going to do that, so that means you need the CGI, you need the AI work, you need all these things, the de-aging, stuff like that. Are you going to use Mark Hamill's voice, or are you going to use the entire archives that you have right now of from all of the other movies that you've used, like they've done in The Mandalorian, which they've done better at, but that's going to be like major screen time, like they've done with Rogue One, you know? So they're going to have to put more money in there. Is that something they're going to want to do? Do they want to put $200+ million budget in a show? You know, I don't know. That's the problem. That's the problem. David Torres says, yes, Star Wars What If sounds good, but would that be canon? No, it would not be canon. And I actually don't even like Star Wars What If. I don't think Star Wars What If should happen. I understand everybody's gist, but like, I just think that's another project that is going to take money away from something else, like an Old Republic series, you know? I think as Star Wars fans, we know what if would happen, and I think that we should probably just take the L and not do that anymore. Soda Fam says, I want a smuggler bounty hunter show about Star Wars creatures. Ooh, so like Fantastic Beasts, but Star Wars? Interesting. I think Star Wars creatures. What I really wanted was like Dr. Aphra, but live action. Like I really wanted a character like that going out and doing things. They're just going out and traveling the galaxy and discovering like the ancient tombs of Korriban, the Valley of the Sith Lords, Rakata Prime, and finding the Temple of the Ancients, things like that. You go to Yavin and find the Masasi warriors, really cool shit that would really, it would be a series about legends, but you wouldn't really have to tell and do the stories, and you can just acknowledge everything that had happened, which is why I've always wanted a Planet Earth type of show. I was like pitching this a while back, and this would be the show that I would make. It would be a Planet Earth styled Star Wars show, and it would be like 10 episodes. It would be like 45 minutes, documentary style, and it would take you to every single planet. And not every single planet in Star Wars, but like there would be a story behind what it's trying to tell you. So, for instance, like you'd see like the dawn of the galaxy or the universe, how potentially the Force had first started, what we think, our interpretation, not like the exact thing, And then from there, it would be like the Yothor and Tython and the Jedi, and stuff like that. Just very vague. Very vague. Very similar to how Lord of the Rings opens up, and it just briefly tells you about the rings and the creation and Sauron, and then he lost the ring and the battle for Middle-earth, things like that. And then it would go on and take you to planets that were very paramount, integral to that entire story. So you go to Coruscant, learn about the ancient people that lived there, how it became a mega city, and every single layer would be built up on top, and all you ever see is like the top city. And then it would go into one level below until you see the actual surface of the planet. You see the creatures, the people scavenging for food. You go on to the next episode would be another planet, like Korriban. And, you would talk about the Sith people, and then all of a sudden the exiles would come onto the planet, and you would see them, integrate and be hailed as gods, and then adopt the name Sith Lords. I think that type of style of storytelling would do so much for Star Wars, specifically Legends fans. And it's an idea that I always want to talk about, that I always want. And I think that would solve a lot of the problems in the current Star Wars, because every episode would just be a kiss to the fandom, a love letter to the fandom of like, hey, we know you love this stuff for like the last 40 plus years. Here's something awesome in every episode. And I think it would be a banger. I don't think people really understand how much they would sit there and watch about how important the Rancors are to Star Wars, or Sarlacc and their entire ecosystem on Tatooine. I think people would be so intrigued, and you could trickle things in, or like just like I was talking about with Korriban, where you could literally put how Bane would be walking on Korriban in the Valley of the Sith Lords, looking for the tombs. And then the Sith dogs are following him. You can make an entire episode about that. There's just so much that you can do, and I just feel like no one wants to take the risk, because everything involves money. They should do another season for Book of Boba Fett and have Crimson Dawn, Kira, Black Sun with Caesar. Yep, 100%. I think that should have been the seeds of the first season. I'm so surprised that they did not do that. But I think they're also just terrified of Caesar. Like Caesar is a very expanded universe character. How do you bring that character into live action? How do you talk about that? How do you make Caesar's plan make sense? How do you make Caesar's power of influence, where he's literally like seducing Leia to have sex with him? That's something that happens in Shadows of the Empire. Do you take that power away? Do you evolve that into something? Is that something people are going to be put off by in live action. Like it's stuff like that where people say no because they're worried about that. But I think at the end of the day, there's probably ways that you can bring the character into live action. It's just it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. How do you make it different? By the way, your feedback on the reimagined fights was fair. They definitely necessary for fan lore. Accurate Jedi? Yes, absolutely. Everyone is going to be into them. It depends on what kind of era fan you are. Yes, and I think that's also another thing, too, because I know a lot of, like, die-hard movie-only, I've watched the originals in the movie fans. They're like, they always talk about how they hate the choreography in the prequels. And the prequels to me is like, how do you hate this? How do you hate these over choreographed scenes? I don't know why people say that. I get like some things maybe, sure, but it's just I like it. But I do think that every era of Star Wars needs its own style, and I think that's why the the original trilogy looks the way it does, is because obviously they weren't freaking doing wushu like Ray Park, or they weren't our boy Gillard. But even the sequel trilogy, where the sequel trilogy doesn't have great lightsaber fights, but the lightsaber fights in the sequel trilogy make sense for that era, because the Jedi Order is gone, the Sith Order is gone. These are just scrubbed up kids that have no idea how to pick up a lightsaber, and they're just doing the best that they can from people that they know around them. Because that's also important with the Empire, because the Empire freaking destroyed everything. They destroyed the Jedi Temple. Who knows what Palpatine was holding for himself, because all he was doing, he was just a damn he was just collecting. He was just accumulating things because he was a hoarder, and so he's probably got so much stuff locked up in all of those towers that he used to hold for himself, and no one got into that knowledge, so it makes sense for someone like Kylo Ren and Rey to look like scrubs when they're fighting. And so I always didn't really care too much about that, because at least in lore, it made sense to me why they didn't look like it was the prequels, even though it was a 2020 movie that was happening, So yeah, but that's just my view. Do I think that every Star Wars show should have as poor choreography per se? No, I don't think so. That shouldn't always be the excuse. But to me, at the very least, it makes sense in that era. That's all. SodaFam says, I like the Myths and Fables book. Dude, the Myth and Fables book is so good. I have that. Dude, that book is so good, man. That book is so good. I cannot believe how good that book was. And it's like perfect too. Of like these, I'm surprised there hasn't been like a movie or a series of that book. That's the type of stuff that I think would do so well in Star Wars. It's not attached to anything, Yeah, we need some more of that. But fam, it is 9 o'clock right now, so I'm probably gonna head off in like 5 minutes. And give me your last couple questions before we head out of here, because I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. I got some stuff to do, so I'm gonna have to head out. But next week, hopefully, we can start playing some games and doing some stuff. Bugsy says, how would you feel about a Star Wars project that ran like an anime, 20 to 36-minute episodes, 50 episodes? Oh, so like, wow, that's a lot. Do you think that formula would not work for Star Wars? It's just the money. It's just the money. That's a lot of money for production. Because, 50 episodes long is a lot. That's why you see what Bad Batch... How much did Bad Batch have? Bad Batch had like what? First season had 16 episodes? How much did it have? Thank you, Bryson. Thank you for even being here. I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a great day, okay? All right? Thank you so much. How many episodes was Bad Season 1? 16. Yeah, 16 episodes. So, that's a lot, Of course I would want it. Absolutely. Of course. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I don't think it's going to happen because, I think it can work, but the thing is like you're gonna invest so much into a new character. It has to be, it probably has to be an era of Star Wars that people want. So, in my opinion, when I think about era that people want, it's probably the Mandoverse. You know, it's probably the Old Republic, maybe even the High Republic. You know, I actually think I think anime would do good for the High Republic as well, and I think it could work, especially in that style. I think it could work. That anime, what's it called? It's I don't. Is it filler? I think it's filler anime. I think that's what it's called. But I think you could do it. Like, I really do believe that it could work. But it would really need someone like Filoni, you know, and Kiner to really take the helm and just really go in with the music and the story. They have a lot of really good story people there. Like the writer for Bad Batch, I think is really good. She could probably do it, you know. But if it's an anime, you would have to have a studio, and the studio would probably have a lot of control with what they're doing in terms of animation and what they would want to express through their creative juices to leave their birthmark on their footnote on Star Wars. And I think that's probably where a lot of the stuff might be, because it's hard, you know, bridging two cultures together to make Star Wars. It's not just one little short that's going to be like 10 minutes or 11 minutes. This is going to be big stuff. 29-minute episodes, you know, 29-minute episodes for seasons, you know. That's tough. I think that's really hard. I don't think Star Wars has done that since Clone Wars, you know. Yeah, so we'll see. I was actually able to see how you started streaming because I saw your tweet. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was the first time. I usually don't do that. I really appreciate it, dude. Yeah, Old Republic anime, I'm down so much. Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying that it wasn't happen, but I think the most realistic outcome, Vader. I don't think that they would have brought him back to Jedi Survivor if they don't have plans for him in the sequel. 100%. Yes, they're most likely going to have Cal going after Vader seeking revenge for Seer. Yeah, we'll see. But I also want them to move away from Vader. I actually don't like how much they've used Vader. That is very true. Mappa Studio animating a Star Wars project would be revolutionary. I like Kamikaze. I mean, I think that you have stuff there already. I feel like just use. Look, man, Ninth Jedi, the Elder, okay. What's the Village Bride, and the Duel. Those series are sitting right there for you to make an entire anime series out of. What is happening? You know? Just do it. Just do it. The characters are there. They are so successful. People talk about them all the time. You know? Ryder Pride, thank you so much for coming over here, fam. Ready up. Yeah, Village, all of it, you know? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, Soda fam. Yes, dude. 100%, man. Yes, Mappa would have the expertise to get those episodes edited in a timely fashion with good animation. Yeah, you know, I think about it every day. Yeah, I think about it every day, dude. It's about what can happen. But again, Old Republic is sitting right there, man. Old Republic is sitting right there. High Republic is sitting right there. Mandoverse is sitting right there. You know, the sequel trilogy is sitting right there. You know, what I would do is I would hold off the Rey movie for a couple years and just start doing the right marketing for this thing. Okay, all right, Rey, here we go. You're going to be building a new Jedi Order. Finn's going to be involved. Everybody's going to be involved. This is going to be a huge freaking movie. Oh, by the way, because the Emperor is dead now, Abeloth is coming. She has been freed. She's no longer on the Maul. She's not terrified about the Emperor's power now, so she's going to be coming for any strong force sensitive and trying to eat them to feed her power. So your new Jedi Academy is going to go through it, and you're going to have to do your best to teach them through this. But we're also going to make an entire anime series about the Jedi that you're training. And so that is going to be this new animated series. So as the movie is going to be approaching, we're going to be giving everybody appetizers and excitement through the new universe that we're building, through world building and characters that they're going to see die in this movie. All right, there you go. Congratulations. Lucasfilm, I'm right here. Please hire. Thank you. You know, like there's everything. There's everything that you need. Everything that you need, man. I think that there's enough there in all these eras, and the talents are, you already know the talent. Just get it done. Stop being worried about this money. Just make quality, and people are gonna throw your wallets. You're never gonna hear them bitch and complain again. Rider Pride says top 3 actors to play Revan in the Old Republic series, and go. I don't think that Revan should be played by anyone, by anyone of great significance. I don't like the Keanu Reeves idea. I think the Keanu Reeves idea would have made sense in Legends. I think that Revan should not have a face. I think that Revan should be someone like Ray Park, who is extremely agile, very fit, and is highly capable of maneuvering and doing some insane shit, because this is supposed to be our favorite character. And the whole point of Knights of the Old Republic is that anybody can be Revan. That's why the game gives you the opportunity to change his appearance. And yes, he does have a canon, or it's not even canon anymore. He used to have a canon appearance, but that's no longer a thing. I actually didn't even like the way that they did that. I think the whole point of that is taking off Darth Revan's mask and realizing it's you. You know, that's the whole point. That's the significance of it. You're supposed to be engaging the story and encountering the story through your experience. That's why the game has choices. It's your choices and what you make, you know? And so I think that they should probably find stunt doubles and people that can move and look awesome and keep the mask on. That's how it should be done. But that's just me. How about Sebastian Stan? I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. No, I mean, if I had to pick like a famous actor, I don't know. I really do not know. That's a tough one. Sam Witwer for Revan. I feel like he's a little too old. I want new or undiscovered actors. Yeah, that's my thing, Soda Fam. I want someone that I can look at and I can be like, this is Revan. You know, he may have been this guy and he may have been this guy, but he was Revan first. That's why I don't want, you know, 80, 70-year-old Keanu Reeves, you know. Yeah, man. Disney should revive Starkiller. I don't know, man. I think that Starkiller is just fine where he is, you know. We need Sam Witwer to give us another Kenobi. Yeah, for sure, fam. Yes, absolutely, dude. Yes. Yeah, man. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out of here, fam. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, but thank you so much for coming in, Apprentice and Acolytes. It's so good to see you. Ooh, coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force Sensitives like yourself. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you all. Deuces, baby. See you next week, same time, okay?